What's up guys, Jadalus here. I'm going to be showing you guys how to solo Warping Core on Insane. First thing you're going to need is a tower squire. Go ahead and just follow along with my tower placement. It's actually Warping Core I was having really hard time with to solo until I figured out a pretty decent tower setup. You'll need a tower squire, and then if you don't have a DPS character yourself, then you'll probably need someone to help you with that part of it. You could maybe get by on just towers, but it'd be pretty difficult once the ogre got there. So, just go ahead and follow along with the tower setup. I'm switching over to my Huntress, who's using the crystal tracker, which is the reward that you get from this mission, which is, I'm sure, why most of you are trying to beat it on Insane anyways. Even if you're not, even if you don't use a Huntress, it's still a good idea to do this map because it's such a desired weapon that you could sell it for, a few million or however much, depending on what the stats end up being on it. So I'm just speeding through the combat phase parts, and I'll slow down when I'm actually building stuff. The purpose of building the spike blockades there are for the archers and the harpoon turrets there on the sides to help with the, just in general with the waves. From this spawn here is where the ogre is going to come out, just as a heads up for you. And just through each build phase, try to get as much of this up, of what I'm showing you, as you can. You might run out of time because you fall into the lava or something, which I actually do in this video, but yeah. Yeah, there, I just did it. Anyways, combat phase, there's not really any special tactic to beat it. I mean, just run around and kill all the guys. Pretty much the same thing you do in every other map. Obviously, just be aware of where the core is at all times. It usually warps, I don't know, like 2 or 3 times. Every now and then you'll get lucky and it won't move. It'll say it warps, it'll just stay in the same place, or it'll warp to the middle, which is the easiest spot to defend it. So remember to get those spike blockades up in the center spots there so that the archers don't snipe on the core when it's there. When the core warps to the bottom spots there, not too many spawns come out, so you really don't have to worry about it too much. That's why I only just go with the spike blockades. Running out of time there, so I'm just sprinting over. Actually, an interesting little glitch happens here. I think probably because I swapped heroes at like the last possible second that you could. You'll notice that it's going to say build phase again in a second, even though it's still combat phase and the round isn't over. Actually, it might have already popped up on the screen and I fast forwarded it through it. I'm not sure. But anyways, kind of like a weird glitch there, so you can just like ignore that. Kind of interesting that I got it recorded though. So I was kind of unsure of what was going on because of the glitch, so I like switched back over to my squire to try and get up some more of my towers. And then I was like, yeah, you can see there that the mobs are trying to get out the gates, but they weren't passing through because it's went back to build phase again. So I just got up the one more harpoon turret there for the ogre. Excuse me, the ogre. And switching back over to my Huntress now. Combat phase beginning again, even though it had already begun. Just DPSing down those mobs. Like I said, not really too big of a strategy for the combat phase, just make sure you know where the core is at all times. It's only ever goes to those same spots where the little rugs are. See, the wave's complete, but there's still mobs all over because it like glitched out. Um, Getting up, I think the second to last tower that you're going to need there. Yeah, I'll just be putting up one more wall, and then I should be at the 90 DU mark. Yep, and there it is. So that's all of the tower set up. If you missed some of the parts at the end, I'll leave up the little screen of my tower placement, so you can just view that for reference. And there's really not a lot more to say about the rest of the video. It's mostly just, well, I mean, it's entirely just running around, protecting the core, upgrading and repairing the towers as necessary. I usually just try to help out as much as I can through the combat phases. DPS down the ogre there. He comes on the wave before the last round. And just during build phase, just prioritize, you know, which of your towers are the lowest and go and upgrade those. That one got pretty low. Luckily didn't die on me. And a lot of this, though, does sometimes come down to luck. Like, during the last wave, it gets kind of crazy. Sometimes some of your towers go down, and then the core will just happen to warp over to where all your towers went. And that's happened to me numerous times. I think the video before this one, I was on the last wave and there was only 5 enemies left, and the core just happened to warp over right directly on top of those enemies, and I lost. So that was extremely frustrating. But if you get it set up, you know, how I have it set up, and if you can manage to try to keep all the towers repaired and upgraded, that helps out tremendously. And then of course you're just going to need, if you have another character that can DPS, or you'll have to have a friend help you out. So that was it. There's the crystal tracker that I got for beating it. Not too bad. I actually ended up selling it later on because I already have one myself that I'm using. I went to just go ahead and check how I did on the leaderboards. 400-ish. It's alright, I guess. I'll try to work on that. But anyways, there you have it. The screen for the layout's about to pop up, and I hope that helps you guys out.